So, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Veronica Arena from Instituto NITS, and this is a live video conference for the workshop Let's Travel. First of all, I'd like to tell everyone who might attend this session that this workshop will be recorded for attendance who might wish to watch it later on. I know that sometimes organizing a workshop and participating in a workshop may exceed the learners' expectations. Learners, you are supposed this time to participate actively, not only to share your thoughts, also to share pictures, right, and to describe them. I know it's quite a lot because you need some thinking time, you need time to post, and it's a process. You need to make decisions on what picture you want to share with others. So there are many things to be taken into account, and I know that you're all overworked, have a lot of things at work, and sometimes these kind of activities might be time-consuming. Don't worry, you will have plenty of time, and if you need more time to get your posts done, we will, of course, give that time to you. But there's only one issue for you to remember, that there will be certificates of attendance which will only be issued to those learners who have participated actively. So, well, let's try to make it fair for everyone, right? So those who participate as they are supposed to, they will get their certificates, right? Well, Manuel, well, you are the teacher for this workshop, right, this year. No one else could be than you, right? Why? Could you explain others why?
Well, I guess so. In a way, well, I have been, this year I was almost 5 months abroad, right, in Europe. I traveled extensively all around the continent. I missed maybe some really, important destinations, but I was in 27 countries in total.
27?
27 countries. Of course, I'm counting also 2 micro-states that some people will tell me, oh, come on, you cannot mention them as countries. I'm talking about Liechtenstein, which is a very small micro-nation between Switzerland and Austria, and also the Vatican, right? They are states, after all, so yes, I was in 27 countries.
My dear, of course the Vatican is a state on its own. Why not? I mean, you have so many things to see there and to do.
Even though it's rather small, you have a lot to see and to do, and it could well take at least 2 days to see everything or more. If you are really interested in it, well, it could take possibly longer. So yes, 27 countries. Before this trip, I hadn't really traveled much abroad. I'd been traveling within Argentina, 1 trip to the US, a couple of trips to Uruguay, a couple of hours in Bolivia, and that was all. So.
And here you are. Let's travel.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that this workshop suits me rather well. Yeah. Okay, but well, I hope that all my share of experience will help you and will make all of you interested in traveling, right? If you have the chance, and to understand that traveling is often easier than one may think, as long as one is willing to make some small sacrifices.
Yeah. There was a teacher who has posted on the campus something related to knowledge gaining when traveling, something like that traveling is the first page of a book. She said something like that. If you haven't read the book, if you haven't traveled or something like that. Do you agree with that concept?
Well, I do, definitely. Traveling broadens your mind. You learn things. You learn things on many different fields. You become a richer person spiritually. If you're traveling inside Europe, you will learn words from tons of languages, really. You don't realize, but you're learning words in different languages all the time. I remember that there was even one moment where I could go to the grocery store in Croatia and basically do everything with the few words of Croatian that I knew. I didn't even have to use a word in English. So, and that was like, okay, interesting how much you can learn unconsciously. You become a much better person in a way, and you meet a lot of great people. So yes, in a way, I would say that there is a sort of parallelism between reading and traveling.
Yeah, I agree completely. I agree completely. Yeah, you need and also meeting people, I think. Meeting the places, getting to understand the place, the history behind it, and also the people, the culture, past and present, that might tell you a little bit about how history was made there. I think this is all very, very nice. Okay, let's move on now, right, with today's workshop. Let's start with the first slide. Right, here we are. All right, let's move on. So, well, as I was telling you all, this is Manuel Moreno, and I am Veronica Arena, and this is the workshop on traveling. And today we're going to analyze a little bit of foreign participation, some tips for traveling, and some useful vocabulary, which might also be found on the campus if we don't have enough time today. During this virtual conference, there's one attendant right now. If more people start coming, there is constant interaction, so you can use nicknames. I think Jack is a nickname. Of course, you can use nicknames. If you want to participate, you need to raise your hand. You will see there is a hand somewhere over there. You will find it. And you can just click on it and you can raise your hand to speak, right? Let's write it down here. Raise hand. Okay, so if you need to say something. So there is constant interaction between teachers, tutors in this case, and learners. And questions, comments are more than welcome, so you can ask any question you might need regarding vocabulary or whatever. The technology we are using today, video cameras, the microphone, this is called a headset. This is all related to virtual culture, right? The chat, yes, I will write down here so you can see what I mean. This is the chat, right? This is where you can chat. So you can chat here if you want to ask a question, for example. The PPT is the PowerPoint presentation I'm using right now. And well, the hand up was what I was telling you before, right? You can raise your hands if you have any questions. So I will see, as administrator, will see that your hand is up. The next thing that we are going to deal with is firm participation, right? Manuel, you have seen more or less until yesterday. Well, we've just started. We started on Tuesday, right? Today is Thursday, so it was only 2 days ago. It seems much longer. I don't know why when we organize workshops, it seems to be a long time. 1 day is very, very long, right? Okay. So, yes?
Maybe that is because, well, there is a lot of work behind the scenes, right? For students, maybe the workshop just started yesterday or 2 days ago, but actually it takes longer to prepare it. So that's why for us, it may feel like it has been longer since we started.
Exactly, right? And we teachers become expectant too, right? And say, well, this is the date, right, to get it started. So this is what we have in week 1 right now. We have the forum, then we will analyze that one. We have also included a video at the airport, which I believe it's great. It's very useful for people who have to travel and need to go to airports and need that kind of vocabulary. So try to watch it. Yes, please, students, try to watch it with your teachers or alone. Right? You have a password, and there is also an intranet for one of the companies. Okay. There is my post and yours, Manuel. Could you explain a little bit about your post?
Well,
It was so nice.
Yeah, for sure. Well, my post, as you can see, there is a picture. Quite colorful picture, in fact, with an interesting sky, if interesting is the proper word here. I made this picture while traveling on a ship from Stockholm to Turku in Finland. It was in around June the 15th this year, so it was summer there. And as you know, in the north, in the very north of Europe, summer is really special because, well, there's almost no real night. The sunset takes place really, really late. You can still see the sun around 11 p.m. You'll see some sunlight around 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. Maybe you have 1 hour of more or less real darkness, but not the sort of darkness you would get here. And then around 3, the sun starts shining again, and this picture I probably made it around 3:30 a.m., something like that. I don't really remember, but it was astonishing. It was my first real contact with what people call the white nights, which is something that I believe everybody should see at some point. So that would be the explanation of my picture.
Great. We later on
This
had...
is Florencia's picture.
Great,
She's a
perfect.
teacher here at NEET
There,
as
there,
well.
then we
This
had
picture comes from Mexico.
Florencia.
Right, she made this picture.
Yeah. It was wonderful. There's one thing that caught my attention. Manuel, are you there? You've lost your camera. I will give it back to you. You lost your voice and camera. Okay, let's wait for you to come back. Manu? All right. Meanwhile, there's one thing that caught my attention here is the fact that so far there are many interactions on the campus having water and grass. I don't know why, but it's very, very okay. All right. So while we wait for Manuel to come back, we'll continue with the next post. Jack, can you hear me all right? Because we are waiting for Manuel. Can you hear me? And even though this is being recorded, but anyway. Okay, so here then we had other posts, right? We were waiting for people to share their insights into traveling. And as I was telling you, it caught my attention deeply, the fact that most of the pictures here have water. I don't know why. It seems that people... Manu, you're back.
Hi there again.
See you. Yeah, here you are. Okay, I'm going to say this for the third time because I think that you haven't heard me. Have you?
No, I could hear.
About this issue?
I could hear everything.
You could. Yeah, okay. So water everywhere. I don't know why, right? But all pictures on campus these days have water. And this is very, I don't know why, but I mean, all pictures have water. It seems that most chosen locations have water in them. Arturo's and Mariana's posts, we know that they have done a great work, but this was just a couple of minutes ago. So forgive us if we haven't been able to answer. We will later on, but the pictures are magnificent. I love them. I would like to be there right away. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, that's about the forum. Yeah. So one thing I'd like to say about the forum, people please don't get upset, right? Because teachers are writing and some advanced students are writing. Please lower in level students. Please share your productions as well, because here first of all, we are not evaluating you. This is not a place to evaluate. We are just sharing. And secondly, because you can use a nickname. It's not necessary for you to say your company's name or to say your own name. So just relax, right? And include your picture and share it with the rest. You will have the opportunity to do so during these days. Later on, this opportunity will disappear. So if you want to be part of this, this is your chance. All right? Okay, so let's move on now. Right? Let's move on now to some tips for travelers. Okay, Manuel, I think that you are the one who can tell us a little bit about tips. Did you have any problem while you were traveling to these so many countries in Europe? Did you need anything that was not there available?
Well, in general, I wouldn't say that I had any sort of true emergency. Some small
Right.
issues may come up from time to time, but really, fortunately, Europe is a rather easy continent to travel in. I guess that if I had traveled around Africa or Asia, it would have been a different story altogether. Still, of course, one must be responsible, and one must be careful and keep some things always around. Thing number one, we can see there, I guess, it's a passport, right? The passport is extremely important and one should take extreme care. It's a very important tool, right? And it basically can decide whether you have trouble with the police or not if you don't have it with you. I had some, well, there, yes, I have just remembered. I had some issues with the police because once they stopped me and asked me for my documents and I didn't have my passports because I hold dual nationality, so I have two passports, Argentine and Spanish. I had neither with me, just had my, and of course, well, in some places in Europe, it's like they don't really appreciate it when they see a Latin American document. So the police started asking questions, and they at one point they understood that I was living in Germany, which it was not the case. Until I made them understand that it was not the case, it took a while, and well, it seemed my story was credible, and they just let me go. But if you meet the wrong people in the wrong country, maybe you could have trouble. This happens, for example, in Russia. In Russia, it is advisable to always carry the passport with you because, well, if you look foreigner, there are chances of deport. Some people say that they may even try to get a bribe from you. I cannot really tell if this is true or not, but well, one should always carry the passport with oneself, right?
Yeah, and let's remember that in these days in Russia there was this girl from Argentina who has been taken from Greenpeace, has been in prison, right? Russian people want their rules to be respected,
Well, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we have to be careful with that, right? The tips for travelers are mainly meant to avoid problems that come. Okay, then we have also emergency information. Okay, of course, you should always keep that with you. You cannot count on your good health, right? Because things may happen, and if they happen, it's good to have a plan B or contingency plan, yes, in order to overcome the situation. Then you have an itinerary, and this brings some memories to me. I remember some years ago, in 2005, I traveled to Europe also. It was something like 40 days. It was not as long as you did. But the thing was that there was sorry, it was, yes, 2005, I think, yeah. No, it was 1995, not 2005. There's much longer. And at that time, there was no internet connection, at least not available for everybody. And there were no mobile phones. And so imagine what it was like to plan in And you had to go to different places in order to get information about countries, to get maps. That was very important, to get a map. How would you travel otherwise? Nowadays you have Google, yes, and you can Google all the information, and you have your cell phones. And in your case, you've made use of some other technology, Manuel. You've made use
yes,
of a
definitely.
blog.
I made use of a blog, which was really a handy way of keeping friends and relatives and everybody else informed of what's going on with my trip. Right? It was a better way than emailing every person, because that can be a little bit difficult when you're moving all the time. Now, you mentioned Google Maps, probably you were referring to. I want to mention something related to this. Many people now have smartphones which have touch screens. There is this this application for smartphones which is really useful, and it's called Maps with Me. I will just type it because it's
Say
Maps with.
maps with me, like this?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So,
Pro. That's professional.
yes, you also have a free version, but the professional version is better, and it's not that expensive. I think it costs 20 pesos, something like that. So it's really worth every cent you pay. And I have to say that what this application allows you to do is download the maps of entire countries or entire regions and have them on your cell phone, even if you have no internet connection, which,
wonderful.
yes, it's really important, because any Argentine that travels to Europe will not have 3G, right? Unless they want to waste thousands of pesos, right? So it's really important to have the maps available offline. And I have to tell you, such an application can save your life very often when you're moving a lot. So it's really useful.
Literally, when you say save your life,
well, I wouldn't say save your life, but for example, when you arrive in a new city where you don't know much, you don't know much about it, well, maybe you can accidentally get into shady neighborhoods, right? That can happen, into dangerous, but at least by European standards, right? But with this application, you can exactly more or less know where you're going. And I have to tell you that it helped me to find my way in countries where I had no clue how to go. For example, Latvia, I remember. I arrived in the capital, Riga, really late at night, and the only way I had to go to the place where I would stay by then was by foot, because I was on foot, because I wasn't going to pay a taxi.
Yeah.
And well, almost by accident, I entered the sort of dangerous neighborhood in the city, which is a Russian neighborhood. I almost got there, but then, well, I checked the map. I realized that I was going the wrong way, and just found my way. I had to walk an hour, but finally I got to the place where I would stay. In any case, this application can really save your neck, right?
Yeah. The same thing happens with GPS here, right? When they will tell you, for example, if you are near a shanty town or something like that, or if it is a dangerous place. Okay, a knife would be necessary, yes, in dangerous places. Well, maybe not a knife, I wouldn't use it, but maybe, I don't know, a map would be at least the least thing you might need, yes. Okay, some more tips here. Yeah, we are talking here, we can see pictures of a doctor, justice, people stealing, and an embassy. All right. So here we are talking about medical insurance. About this, when we talk about these legal issues, what could that be?
Legal issues. Well, I guess that if we talk about legal issues, it would be,
or justice, as we have the picture.
Yes. Well, the reasons why you may be facing the justice system of the country. One reason could be overstaying, right? Staying longer than you are legally allowed. In our case as Argentines, well, we are quite lucky because we can stay in Europe within the Schengen area of the European Union for 90 days without a visa. and we can stay the same amount of time in Russia without a visa, 90 days also, and in many other non-European Union countries. That would be a reason. Another reason would be, I don't know, getting involved in a fight. That could happen. I mean, if you go
So
out,
90 days, that's what you have said. 19 days in Europe and Russia.
90 days in the Schengen area, that is, most of the European Union, except for the UK, Romania, and Bulgaria, and also including some non-European Union countries, right, such as Norway.
Right. Sometimes we need to know regulations of our countries and their own fears also, because, for example, when you enter the UK, they always tend to fear that you might wish to stay there and to find a job there. And sometimes it's much convenient not to speak very good English when you go through customs, right? Because otherwise they will start getting, suspicious, to say, what do you want to do here, right? How long are you planning to stay? How much money have you brought? And all those kind of questions, which can be quite uncomfortable. This happened to me, so I decided not to speak in English. I said, no English, sorry, no English.
That's always a good option. If you don't have a European Union passport, it's a good option to just pretend that you are not as smart as you really are, right? Because if you play smart, they may very well think that, okay, this is another Latin American that wants to come here and stay. So
stay here forever.
You have to outsmart them in a way. So better to just pretend that you don't speak a word of English or broken English.
All right. Then, well, we have the other pictures to be, when you are traveling to so many different places, usually you're not able to bring a very big luggage with you, because you need to transport this from place to place. So you have to be very careful, right? Because there are people who might steal something from you, right? And so you have to take some precautions. Meaning, you're taking your passport. You cannot just let anyone take your passport, right? And the last is the embassy. Well, if you are traveling to different places, it's good to know where the embassy is beforehand, just in case.
Yes, that is definitely very, very important. It's a good idea to have the number of your embassy, right, or also the address if you can. Of course, it's maybe a bit of a problem if you are not traveling to the capital city of a country, but still have all the information with you.
Right.
I guess that the internet is full of lists of embassies of a certain country in all other countries. That's easy to get, really, so there's not much of a problem with that, as long as one is diligent and gets information.
Okay. I think these cover more or less the essential tips for travelers. Of course, if after watching this virtual session, students want to add any other tips that they might consider useful, they can do so in the different forums for this. You can say forums or fora, remember, right? The plural form of forum. Forum is the singular form, and the plural form could either be forums or fora. Both are right. So if you want to add any other tips to share with others, it would be great, right? You can do this in the different forums for this workshop. And talking about this workshop, so far we have covered, well, we are covering still week 1, with the first forum. This is the one that we are dealing with. The one that deals with your pictures and description of the places. Well, this is writing descriptions was a file that we've included, a PDF file where you will find some tips on writing descriptions. If you need any further material on writing descriptions or describing places, just let me know and I will send you more material on that. And then the last thing we've included is the video on that was called At the Airport, which I've told you is very nice. And one funny thing I didn't want to forget about this is that every time I include a video on the campus, I always include a password for you to to enter the video and to watch it. But this time, I did not notice, and instead of writing password needs, I wrote passport needs, right? Which was really funny. The passport is also a kind of password, something that allows you to go in, right? So I just let the mistake continue there, right? So you can still see the passport there, right, instead of the password. It was my mistake, but it was funny, so I let it stay. And then during week 2, we are not going to meet virtually, but you will be able to watch this lesson. There we will have a different forum. You will see what it is about on Monday next week. So I won't tell you anything right now, just not to spoil the surprise. And then you will have to vote. Yes, you will have to make a choice exercise. That is, just decide which song of a list of songs you like best. If there's no song that you like, you can just suggest a different song that you know about traveling. It has to be related to traveling, which is our topic, right? Let's talk about, again, a little bit about our certificate. Remember that you need to participate. I know that many of you are going into the campus. You are reading and listening to everything. Your teachers tell me that you even write, but not on the campus, on paper. But if you don't post it, I cannot see it. If I cannot see it, I assume that you have not participated. So no certificate will be available, right? Okay, and there's one last thing, which is also very important for us teachers, organizers. Your opinion. There is a survey at the end, right? So you can let us know what you think about this workshop, and that will help us improve, surely, right? So let's come back here to the last part. Okay, well, this was about the video, the airport video, right? So we are coming to the end of this presentation. Any comments you would like to add, Manu?
Well, my suggestion is quite well connected to your suggestions. Yeah, I know that many of you are entering. Of course, my own students are too. Some of them are also entering from their homes. I really strongly suggest that you actively write and participate, even if you feel that your English is not good enough. Do not feel intimidated by other people's posts. Maybe if you feel that their English is better than yours. This is the time to write, to enjoy, to feel free, and to get away from the typical topics of maybe English learning that you deal with in classes. So just enjoy, let your imagination flow, travel back to your memories of, well, traveling, in fact, and that's just what I have to say. But I hope you will enjoy as much as I did enjoy preparing this this workshop.
Right. Thank you. I always mention this thing about technology in every workshop. We've started with workshops last year. It was more than 1 year ago, I think, the first workshop. And I said that technology seems to be here to help us. But at that moment I said that we are 5 years ahead of our time. Why? Because we are using the campus, we are using the virtual conferences for English, right? Which does not seem to be the right thing. So much technology is just for sharing, right? Now I can say, I can proudly announce that we're not 5 years ahead of our time. We are 4 years ahead of our time. So 1 year has passed at least, yes. The time will come when people will understand that we learn what we need, and we learn by sharing mainly. Yes, when you share with others, you learn. So if you post your comments, you will learn, right? If you read others' comments, you will learn how to make descriptions for sure, right? So help us make history, right? And participate actively as much as possible, right? And have fun. The idea is always to have fun, and to be happy, right? So a big hug for all of you. Have a great day and read you around. Yes, that expression to read you around is to say, I will see you around, but in this case it's to read you around. I will read your posts, right? Thank you for sharing so much things. Thank you, Manuel.
Thank you, Vero.
Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day, all of you.
Bye-bye, Jack. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye.